Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see an interesting Azure use case. The use case is copy only the new files from source to target. Let's assume that on day 1, we get two new files in the source directory. They are cars.csv and name.csv. Since both are new files, we are loading both the files to the target. On day 2, we again get two files, industry.csv and name.csv. Since name.csv is already in the target, we are loading only the industry.csv in the target and we are not going to overwrite the names.csv which is already in the target. We are going to load only the new files from source to target. One thing to note in this scenario is that we are not checking the actual data of the files. We are comparing the source and target only based on the file name. I hope the use case is clear. Let's get into the implementation. Here is our Azure homepage. The first step is to upload the source file in the source location. We are going to use the storage account Azure Tutorials. Inside that, we are going to the container. Our source container is source and our target container is target. Let's upload the source files to the source container. Upload. We are going to use the files. These are the three files that we will be using in this use case. As a first step, let's upload two files, names.csv and cars.csv. We have two files uploaded in the source location. Let's also see the target container. Currently, our target container is empty. We are going to load only the new files to the target container. For that, let's create the pipeline. Here is the Synapse Analytics homepage. Let me create a new pipeline. I'm going to name my pipeline as PL demo. In the pipeline wizard, I am going to use two get metadata activity, one for the source and the other one for the target. The source get metadata is to read the file names of the source container and the target get metadata is to read the file names of the target container. Let's implement that. Get metadata, one for source. I'm going to name this as get metadata source and another get metadata for the target. I'm going to name this as get metadata target. The next step is to create source and the target dataset pointing to the source and the target container. Let's implement that. I have selected the get metadata source and go to the settings and create a new dataset. My source files are in Azure Blob Storage and they are CSV files. Let me name my dataset as DS source demo. DS source demo. The next step is to create linked service pointing to the source container. Let me create a new linked service. LS source demo and select my Azure subscription and my storage account name. Let me test my connection. The connection is successful. Let me create the linked service. The linked service is successfully created. In the file path, I am going to point to the source container. Source container and click OK. The source dataset is successfully created. In order to read the file names, I am going to field list, and in the arguments, I am going to select child items. Let me do the similar activity in the get metadata target. I am going to select get metadata target. In the settings, I am going to create a new data set. Here also the data set is blob storage. Continue. CSV files. Continue. The data set is DS target demo. Next, we have to create linked service pointing to the target container. New ls target demo. Let me select my Azure subscription and the storage account name and test my connection. Connection is successful. Now let's create the linked service. The linked service is successfully created. Now in the file path, I am going to select the target container. Target container. Let me click OK. We have to read the target file names. So in the field list, I am going to select child items. We have created the source and the target get metadata activity. The next step is to filter the files that are present only in the source container but not present in the target container. In order to filter the file names, I am going to use filter activity. We need to filter the file names based on get metadata source and get metadata target. So let me connect both the source and the target get metadata activity to the filter activity. And in the filter settings, let me go to the settings. And in the items, we are going to mention what we are going to filter. In our case, we are going to filter the file names from the get metadata source. So let's mention that. We are going to filter get metadata source child items. Let me click OK. And in the condition, we have to mention based on what condition we are going to filter the data. In our case, we don't want to load the file names that are mentioned in the get metadata target. Let's implement that. Let me go to add dynamic, and here in the activity output, we don't want the files that are in the get metadata target. Get metadata target. Get metadata target child items. We are going to compare this with the filter items, comma, filter items not contains we need only the file names that are present in the get metadata source that are not present in the get metadata target items. So we are comparing the items that are in the get metadata target along with the filter items, and we are taking only the file names that are not present in the get metadata target. I hope it makes sense. Let me click OK. Our filter activity is successfully created. The next step is to iterate over the file names returned by the filter activity. In order to iterate over all the file names, we are going to use for each activity. For each activity, and I'm going to connect the filter activity to the for each activity. In the for each activity settings, I'm going to select the filter activity. Filter activity output dot value. Let me click OK. The last step is to use the copy data activity inside the for each activity in order to copy the files from the source container to the target container. Let me get into the for each activity and import the copy data activity. In the source settings, I'm going to select the source dataset. I'm going to use the wildcard file name. My file name is coming from the for each activity names. For each activity dot name. Let me click OK. And in the sync settings, I'm going to select the target dataset. That's pretty much it. Let me run my pipeline. The pipeline is running. All the activities completed successfully. Now let me go to the target container and see if the files are transferred. Target container. Now let me refresh. Both the files are copied from the source container to the target container. Now from the target container, let me remove one of the files. Let me remove cars.csv. And in the source container, I am going to place a new file along with the file already present in the target container. In the source, I am going to upload another file, industry.csv. We have 3 files in the source container and we have one file name.csv in the target container. Now let's run the pipeline. If you see here, even though we have 3 files in the source container, the copy data activity is called only 2 times because the names.csv is already present in the target container. All the activities completed successfully. Now let me go to the target container. If you see the timestamp, the names.csv is not copied and the cars and the industry.csv is copied in the second run. I hope you like this video and I'm sure that you learned something new today. If you do like this video, please consider to subscribe and I will see you in yet another interesting Azure use case. Thank you.